If you know about one thing from its origin to its end, then you know how all the things exist in this universe. But if you embrace nothingness, then you know the truth that you need not exist.
Previously, we saw only after learning we are eligible to unlearn. This is the first step which leads us to the path of spirituality. Now, let us see about time. Time. We revolve only with respect to time in this world. Let's see how time plays its role in our day-to-day activities. Say, if you are given time to make a life-changing decision, you would probably think about all the possible outcomes of making a certain decision. And once you arrive to a conclusion, you will realize that the decision you have finalized would be the very first thought that came to you when you started to think about it. The series of thoughts after making the decision until the point of finalizing it is all about convincing yourself that the decision was right at every perspective. Now, let us see the same instance from mind's perspective. The moment you think about taking a decision, the mind processes it rapidly and gives you the output in split-second time. Since we are not capable to match our thinking with the processing speed of the mind, we sometimes name this process as intuition. The reason why we cannot process is because time runs differently for us and for our mind. What does time do to you? In our life, we would have faced hardships. During those times, we think that this hardship would last forever. But when we remember the saying, time heals everything, we get the energy to face it and move on with our life. Did time change you? Did time give you the confidence? While you see the time, you see yourself in it. You acknowledge yourself, saying that this is not the end. We and time travel together our whole life. But when you indulge deeply into a thinking process, or when you work very consciously, time will not affect you by any means. Time will run swiftly. But when you are idle and you are not doing anything at all, or when you get bored of doing things repeatedly, you will feel that the time runs slowly. We all in this earth have the same time. Some of us feel that there is no time at all. But for some, time doesn't move at all. This is not about the time, but this is all about our mind. Albert Einstein, the great scientist, proposed a concept, time is relative, which means that time changes for each and every one of us. Time takes too many forms in everyone's life. Some people give more importance to time, and some try to live their life avoiding time. But there are some people who look at patterns in time. What do these patterns mean? Let us take the most commonly seen pattern, 11-11. What does it mean? Some people say that if you are noticing these kinds of patterns, something extraordinary will happen in your life. Some people wait to notice this pattern 11-11. Imagine that someone is standing in front of the clock at time 11:10, waiting for the clock to tick 11:11. This time transition from 11:10 to 11:11 will be very slow. The person who is waiting will lose their patience, and some will eventually move away from the clock. But some will wait patiently, holding lots of thoughts or wishes to think during that unique pattern appearance, 11:11. When the clock shows the time 11:11, that person will look into the clock without thinking about the planned thoughts in their mind. A silent mind with no thoughts can only be observed during that whole 60 seconds. At that very moment, your mind and your thought will be in the same plane. After that, when the clock ticks 11:12, this mind will get awakened, and then only that person will realize that the past 1 minute they didn't think anything at all. But if we look closely, there is no such thing as time. Time is only used by us to live in this society, to perform our daily activities. Time actually runs in our mind and mind only. We all carry our clock in our mind. When you are going to sleep and you forgot to set an alarm in your clock, the next day you would have woken up at the same time you thought to set the alarm. Who woke you up? It's your mind. The clock in your mind woke you up. You wonder how that happened, but your mind will not give you the answer for that question. Then, the next day, while going to sleep, you will keep the alarm again, forgetting that your mind will wake you up. It's because you will be indulged in your day-to-day activities where your mind-related memories will become negligible. And also, due to repetitive incognizance, those moments will not be stored subconsciously in your mind. We might lose the bigger picture of the universe if we are not acknowledging our mind. Let us expand our boundaries of knowledge and continue our journey about time in the upcoming loop.
Here, we travel in the path of knowledge to explore how everything is connected. Thanks to the universe.